Hello everyone, I am V. Sanjana and our project topic is on production of value-added products from microalgae. Our aim of the project is to produce value-added products from microalgae, and our objective is to increase the biomass in Chlorella sorkiniana, our chosen microalgal species, and to produce the astaxanthin and flavonoids from our chosen microalgal species biomass. To start with the introduction, first microalgae. As we all know, microalgae is a unicellular photosynthetic microorganisms living in the saline or freshwater environments. To add examples for the saline water environments, they are the Rhodophyta, Xanthophyta, and brown and red microalgae. Freshwater examples will include dinoflagellates, Chlorophyta, and Euglenophyta. It converts the sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into algal biomass, which aids in its growth and development. This is the microscopic image of our cultivated Chlorella sorkiniana. This is the summary of the important products obtained from microalgae. It includes the bioactive compounds obtained from their source and their health benefits. It's just an overview. There are many products from microalgae. Value-added products. Usually value-added products are nothing but the products obtained from of the high commercial value. There are many obtained from the microalgae, but we have chosen astaxanthin and flavonoids. So coming to flavonoids, they are the secondary metabolites produced by the microorganisms and are often attributed for the treatment of the diseases like cancer and diabetes. They belong to the polyphenol class, which act as a modulator for the intracellular communications. It is a belief that the flavonoids are present mainly in the plants, but recent studies show that microalgae have an enzyme pool required for the flavonoid biosynthesis. So we are aiming for chalcones and catechins from the microalgae group. Coming to astaxanthin. Astaxanthin, it is also known as 3,3-dihydroxy beta-carotene 4-diene. It is an orange-red color pigment which belongs to the carotenes family. Usually, astaxanthin is produced from the petrochemical with no biological activity. However, there is a considerable interest in the development of the biological production process. Astaxanthin is a secondary carotenoid accumulating in the cytosolic lipid bodies only under the environmental stresses. So, it is one of the most highest value added products. It is a powerful antioxidant and it prevents the macular degeneration of the related disorders. So why we have chosen microalgae is because of its very short doubling time, which is 26 hours, inexpensive media, BG level media, that is nothing but blue-green level media, and sewage water samples. Absorb CO2 as it grows. It is environmental friendly. Solar conversion increases by 10 folds when compared to the plants. It is cost effective. It requires less space for cultivation. Converts one products to the another. And it is also known to change its chemical composition according to the environmental changes. And it is also it plays a major role in the nutrient cycling and fixing the inorganic carbon into the organic molecules. Chlorella sorkiniana, freshwater chlorophyte green in color, and variety of the chemical components in chlorella makes it a good source of the carbohydrates, proteins, and vitamins. There are many other. These are one of them. It has high tolerance to the temperatures and concentration of the carbon dioxide, which is its driving force. The further will be continued by my friend Srividya.
And then coming to the overall process which we have taken in this experiment, in this 10 ml of culture is taken in 100 ml of BG11 media in a conical flask, which is harvested in an orbital shaker incubator from which biomass is obtained. Now from this obtained biomass, we are going to extract astaxanthin and flavonoids. For astaxanthin, the biomass is centrifuged, followed by two-phase extraction and then HPLC analysis. For flavonoids, maceration is done, Dowd method is performed, which is followed by thin layer chromatography.
Coming to the method that we followed for obtaining biomasses, we have taken the 10 ml of the culture in 100 ml of media, which is carried out in a 250 ml conical flask. And it is kept on an orbital shaking incubator with a 110 as the RPM under the continuous illumination of 3000 lux. And it is a 22 days protocol. We have done the analysis using UV visible spectrophotometer with a OD nanometer range of 600. And the biomass obtained, we are looking for carotenoid and flavonoid. From carotenoid, we are expecting astaxanthin, and from flavonoid, we are expecting chalcones and catechins.
Now coming to the extraction of astaxanthin, for this, the biomass is centrifuged at 5000 rpm for 5 minutes, which is followed by saponification, and this is done using 30% ethanol plus 5% KOH. Again, centrifugation is done at 5000 rpm for 5 minutes, which is followed by two-phase extraction using ethanolic KOH and hexane. This mixture is again vortexed. Now the pellet is taken and it is heated with 5 ml of hexane at 80 degrees centigrade for 2 minutes. This is followed by spectrophotometric analysis for the collected supernatants, and HPLC analysis is done.
Methanol was used to extract the flavonoids with the help of the maceration technique. The resultant mixture was heated at 70 degrees for 30 minutes and then centrifuged for 10 minutes at 10,000 rpm. Then the presence of the flavonoids was detected using the qualitative assay Dowd method. The Dowd method is nothing but 200 microliters of the algal extract was mixed with the same volume of 10% of aluminium chloride made in methanol. To that, 200 microliters of potassium acetate is added and then 1.8 ml of the distilled water, which is incubated at the room temperature for approximately 30 to 45 minutes, and the sample absorbance is taken at 450 nanometers. 2.5 ml of dilute ammonia to the 1 ml of methanolic algal extract. And in general, flavonoids are synthesized along the phenylpropanoid pathway. In the presence of L-phenylalanine, flavonoids are enhanced. When L-phenylalanine is added directly to it enters the phenylpropanoid pathway bypassing the shikimate pathway. This phenol converts to the flavonoids directly by forming cinnamolic coenzyme A or by forming cinnamate and beta-coumaric acid, which finally results in the production of the flavonoids. Analysis was done using TLC, which is nothing but thin layer chromatography. This is an overview of the Dowd method.
Now coming to the biochemical tests which we performed in this experiment. For this, in chlorophyll test, 10 ml of culture is centrifuged at 10,000 rpm for 5 minutes, and then the pellet is subjected to acetone and ethanol, and then the mixture is centrifuged at 6,000 rpm for 5 minutes, and then OD readings are taken at 647 nanometers and 664 nanometers in UV visible spectrophotometer. Now the total chlorophyll content is calculated by adding the values of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, and chlorophyll A and B are calculated using the formulas shown. And then coming to the nitrates test, in this 10 ml of culture is centrifuged at 10,000 rpm for 5 minutes. To this 1 ml of 2 molarity HCl is added, and then directly OD readings are taken at 220 nanometers using UV visible spectrophotometer.
Coming to work progress. Figure 2 is represents the experimental setup that we have done for our project, and figure 3 indicates the mother culture of the Chlorella sorghiniana. Figure 4 is nothing but that from mother culture we have subcultured into the 4 plus, and that is figure 5 represents the cultivation that we have carried out. Figure 6, 7, 8 are the microscopic images of our Chlorella sorghiniana. This we have done to ensure that there is no contamination, and these are taken from the different lenses, as we all can see 10x, 40x and 100x. As there is no contamination, we further took it to subculturing, and we have subcultured. We have done the subculturing in order to cultivate in a more volume. So we have taken this vessel, which is of 5-liter capacity, and we have used the aquarium aerator to provide oxygen and for agitation so that the nutrient reaches each and every microalgal cell. But unfortunately, on day 11, we found that due to the handling errors, we found a contamination. And so again, we have to subculture. We have chosen a flask, and from then from it we have subcultured. And again, we followed the same protocol, and it was carried out till day 28. And on day 24, we added L-phenylalanine at 1 mg per ml concentration, which is known to increase the flavonoid accumulation.
Now, at day 28, 100 ml of this culture was taken and it was dried in a hot air oven at 60 degrees for 24 hours. After it's dried, the dried algal biomass was weighed and measured. Then maceration was done using 100 ml of methanol, and then this mixture it was heated at 70 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. And then with this, the methanolic extract of Chlorella sorokiniana is obtained. But in order to perform Dowd method and TLC, 1 ml of this methanolic extract was mixed with 2.5 ml of dilute ammonia solution, and this is for storage purpose. Now coming to astaxanthin, in this we have taken 4 conical flasks containing culture. With this, 3 different concentrations of ferrous sulfate was added, that is at 5 millimolar per liter, 10 millimolar per liter and 15 millimolar per liter. A control was kept without any addition of any keratinogenesis promoting factor. Here ferrous sulfate is a keratinogenesis promoting factor. It means it leads to and it triggers the accumulation of carotenoids. And as we know, the astaxanthin is one of the carotenoids. It increases or triggers the production of carotenoids in microalgal cells.
In order to check the biomass growth, we have taken OD values using the visible spectrophotometers at 600 nanometers, and these are the tabulated readings of it. As we found there is a contamination, we had to initiate a second batch, and these are the readings.
Now coming to the graphical representation, here we can see that there is a significant increase in biomass of Chlorella sorokiniana. And then
we have performed the several biochemical tests. One of them is nothing but the nitrate test. We have performed it for flavonoids and astaxanthin as well. And we have performed it at the day interval of 12 days. And on the day 12, we have added L-phenylalanine. And then after that, we have seen a decrease in the value as it is evident on day 28.
This graphical representation shows that after addition of phenylalanine on day 12, there is a drastic decrease in the nitrates concentration.
As nitrate test, we also perform the chlorophyll test with the same day interval as that of the nitrates, and same day L-phenylalanine was added, and we could see the decrease in the value of the chlorophyll as well.
Now this graph also shows that after addition of phenylalanine, the chlorophyll content drastically decreased. With these observations, we can say that accumulation of flavonoids have taken place.
So finally, we would like to conclude that the decrease in the nitrate and the chlorophyll value upon the addition of phenylalanine results in the flavonoid accumulation.
And then coming to the astaxanthin culture, unfortunately, we could not do many tests due to COVID lockdown, so we couldn't plot any graph for it. And we expect the results would be in such a way that TLC would show the presence of flavonoids, that is catechins and chalcones in the extract, and the HPLC analysis would show the presence of astaxanthin in different amounts of concentrations of ferrous sulfate. And coming to the future prospects of this microalgal biotechnology is that it has an enormous applications in production of human food, like in supplements, like in animal fodder, or biofuels, or bioproducts like polyunsaturated fatty acids, antioxidants, coloring agents, vitamins, anti-cancerous drugs, antimicrobial drugs, etc. And these are the references which we referred for our literature review and the whole project. And thank you
For
very
any
much.
queries, please review this references. Thank you.
Thank you.